where do you actually work at?
I work over in the Hyde Park area. I am a line cook at a lovely wine bar, and I work under Chef Jay, who currently has one of his dishes at the Raymond James Stadium.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Paintball Lounge, where today we have a lovely guest, Hailey Bell from, is it still Tiki or is it no Thunder Valley?
It is now ThunderValley.
Okay, Thunder Valley Paintball. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, no problem. I mean, we had to change it up, and I've seen how you play with Tiki, and you know, it's just something about your style was like, you know what? I'm gonna know the story about her because you play really consistently when it comes to Tiki, and I like the way you've been playing it and what got you started.
So honestly, I freshman in high school, they were doing like club announcements, and I was going through all the options, and I noticed there was a paintball club, and yeah, it was very interesting, and I always wanted to play like laser tag with my dad, but we just never found the time. So I was like, "Hey dad, let's go do this together." And it was a bunch of like senior boys. I was the only girl. I was like the only freshman, and um the kid that ran it, Bryce Evans, he was playing divisional for Tiki's at the time. And yeah, we started going out every weekend, and I started having a lot of fun with it and enjoying it, and eventually my dad got into it and we started going together, and I just I fell in love. I loved having time with my dad. It was something for us to do on the weekends,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad got into it hard. We used to go twice, like Saturday, Sunday, no matter what, always played, rain or shine, and we made friends along the way. And then I started working at Tiki's eventually down the line, and for what is it, 6, 7 years now, paintball has just been a huge part of my life.
So you've been playing about 6 or 7 years now.
Off and on. I was in high school at
Okay,
the
well,
time, so.
okay. I mean, that's understandable. I mean, I think that everybody started
Mhm.
well, unless you were like 8 or 7, but mostly the average people who started playing paintball is like in high school.
Yeah.
But hearing that, like you started playing paintball through a club, that from high school, that is something I've never heard. That's interesting. I'm not gonna lie, that's very interesting. So, what was your first marker that you know you had to get when you got started?
I started off with the Titman, like everybody does. Started with the Titman, and then real quick, my dad upgraded me to an EMAC, and I loved the EMAC. And eventually, he's like, "Okay, you're shooting enough paint." We upgraded me to a used HK 170, and I still own that gun to this day. She's packed away, but I still have my OG gun.
That's something I wish I had. It was my OG gun, like but I gave it away. After a while, you wanted to give it to someone who actually will use it more often, or just store it. But I'm glad that you stick with the whole Gamma Core. I
Mhm.
mean, you start with the EMAC and you still got with the Gamma Core. I've seen a lot of people come on the show. They started with the Titman, and then they went from the Mini, and then they um went to the Gamma Core,
Mhm.
and that's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
That's pretty awesome. When did you know that you want to start playing like speedball, like the tournament side, like?
So actually, this was I to me it's funny. When we are now Voltage, but when Ohana, I'm sorry, tryouts were announced, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I think the weekend before, a couple people came up to me and they're like, "Hey, you should really do this. Like, just go out and try." And I hadn't played paintball in a minute. I would go out and watch, but I hadn't played in an actual minute. But
Mhm.
I was convinced to go. I never touched speedball. I was only a rec player at the time. And I went out with my little 170 in a Gengar jersey, and I tried out right next to, the girls we have in our pro line now, and I gave it everything I could. And ever since then, I found a group of ladies that I could truly expand and grow myself with.
That's awesome. That really is awesome, and that's hard to find. I mean, some people like when they join the team, it's like they you find some people that you like, and then you find some people you don't like. So that's pretty awesome. So what what specific like what position do you play in the speedball industry? Because I've seen you play like different positions, but what's your more comfortable one?
Most comfortable, I've been playing a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the back snake recently, being that support
Mm-hmm.
for my one, and I am still I'm still working on my agility to play as the one, but I
Right.
like being able to be there for my teammate and say, "Hey, I have your back. Let me know what you need. I got you." Every time we have that click, me and my one, it's the best feeling.
Yeah, I understand completely. Like it's good to have that support. You have that person, like no matter what it is, if it's like back support of the center or the Dorito or the snake, it's always have a great idea to have someone behind you, or be you know say, hey, I got your back, I got your six, or you know so you can give cover fires to your snake player or Dorito
Hmm.
player, whoever can progresses up front. And so for you to do that, that's really, that's really amazing. I mean, but so like no, now you're on. I still get used to call it Tiki. I mean,
We're still in
so
that
why this
transition
name change?
period.
Yeah, because we're known as y'all Tiki, but now you're gonna be known as Thunder Valley. Like,
Hmm.
why the transition, like from
I think
Tiki to?
we are going through a cleanse as a program. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're it's just that time. We need to
Right.
get rid of some of the old, start developing the new. And today we have officially announced that we are now Voltage. So we're really just trying to, especially with the new year, out with the old and with the
Mm-hmm.
new,
Of course.
we are ready to really buckle down and put our nose to the grinder and sharpen up and get ready for this upcoming event.
Of course. And the next event is actually y'all's
It
hometown,
is.
Tampa.
It is especially my hometown. It's probably 30 minutes from my job.
Really?
Hmm.
So how does it feel, you know, knowing that your hometown is going to be the start of the new season?
It's definitely comforting because,
Hmm.
you always have those jitters of, oh, it's in a new event, it's a new season, we have to prove ourselves. But just having that home's this far, it's only this far. I know a good place to go eat right after this event. Just having that
Right.
comfort so close, really, truly, especially for someone like me, it it makes such a big difference.
Hey, I mean, it does because, like you said, it's a comfort and it's like, no pressure,
Hmm.
like no pressure, but it's in XL. There's always pressure,
Yes. There's always
like no
there's
matter
always
what.
that little line, where you need to at least hit it.
Yeah. And especially, I mean, now since it's in Florida, it feels like it's starting to feel like when you start a new season, like the new season, like the very first event, and it's at your hometown. It's like, okay, we need to show these people. We want to start off like good. We
Mhm.
don't want to start off shitty,
Mm-mm.
because that's how you know. I know the old saying is like it's not how you enter, like how you start things, it's how you end
Mhm.
things, the way you go. But I feel like the pressure of like when you start a new season, it's like a little bit, you know, okay, let's see how we can do it.
And I totally agree.
So now with the women's XL, the women's XL has been literally, eye catching. And how did you feel about when y'all were gonna have, you know, this kind of exposure that the men get?
It was definitely nerve-wracking for me because I'm not typically in front of the camera. I usually take
Hmm.
care of whoever needs to be in front, and I'm usually the support person. And it's like that, oh God, like I don't want to do something stupid and then, become the next meme. But it's also
I think we're all gonna be the next meme.
yeah, but it's also like I want to do this on TV. I want to be that person that a little girl sees in her living room and she's like, I want to do that.
Right. I agree. That's a great mindset. And we actually, I've seen a lot of, more females playing because of this move.
Mhm.
I think there's a team called Paintball Ladies. I think they're a D4 team or I can't remember which division they are, but there's a team called the Paintball Ladies, and I've seen women have now playing the sport a little bit more and more, and it's awesome.
Mhm.
It really is. And because, you know, it was like back then where you like, oh, it's women, like, it's not, they're not gonna get like far. They're not gonna get far because like, oh, it's just women.
Mhm.
But now it's like y'all making these crazy games, especially you, like these crazy decisions, and you're like, I learned that the hard way. I'm like, I learned that hard way of how never underestimate a woman with a paintball gun,
Yeah.
and I learned that the hard way. I will never regret it.
Because
Like shit.
some girls, they get into paintball because of their boyfriends. Some get into it because they see their girlfriend do it, or. And I think a lot of people, they want community. And the fact that so many women are exploding into paintball, it'll just make it that much easier for your friend Sarah to come in and play and feel safe and comfortable
Mhm.
to express herself and to every time you play paintball, it's hard. You're gonna get a bad shot, you're gonna make a stupid decision. And just having that support around you makes it so much better and more inviting to come back.
Right. I agree. Yeah, I agree 100%. Especially, it's a lot of females, they are like, sometimes they are scared. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them are scared because like, oh, is it gonna hurt? Yeah, it's gonna hurt for a bit, but then your drilling kicks in, and you're like, oh, that felt like something. It felt like my little brother keep on flicking me every, you know, 50 times.
Hmm.
Like it's nothing to like be afraid about. So that's why I have high respect for the women's division because you know, I will hopefully see the WNXL become like go on Go Sports because um the fact that y'all bring out so much like eye catching moments. It's in my book, I know that Tom Cole, he's doing the best he can for Go Sports and everything going on, but I have more fun watching the women's division because y'all just have eye-catching moments, and hopefully that y'all go to Go Sports so we can, watch, the guy, like, the family can watch their niece or the dads can watch their daughters,
Hmm.
play these events, and they'll be like, okay, I don't have to worry about YouTube. I don't have to worry about these stupid ads.
Yeah.
Keep a cutting from these big points. So, what do you want from the WNXL that will make girls to play more paintball?
That's a very good question. I am very much, especially now, trying to adopt the mentality of grow the sport. And, just how with me starting out into paintball, all of my older teammates, they were like role models. They were the big sisters for me. I want to start doing that to the younger girls. We have a couple younger girls on our AM line. I want to be the big sister to them
Mhm.
because, not everybody, has a big sister or has a older woman they can look up to. I want to now be someone like that to them. And if I can help them, even if they just play with us for a year, it's the best year of their life and they learn and develop exponentially, and I just want to help them grow as a person and be like, thank you for giving me this advice. Thank you for leading me, and hopefully not make some decisions that they would have regretted down the line.
Right. And basically you want to make a sisterhood
Hmm.
for, you know, the young players and the new people coming.
Hmm.
That's very admirable. And who's y'all's coach
We
for this ThunderValley?
Ricky Smith. He has been our coach for the last 2 seasons, and he is continuing to be our coach this year. We, at the end of
Oh, you.
and this the end of last season, we all had a little bit of inward or internal thinking. There's a word, I can't quite think of
Mm-hmm.
it right now. But just thinking of how can me as a person, how can I, how can Ricky Smith, how can, Natasha Lopez, how can Camila Ariano, how can we ourselves push this team forward? And
Right.
I very I admire Ricky a lot for seeing the things that he's done the last 2 seasons and going to and improve them to for this next coming event and this next coming season. And I'm very excited to see how this season goes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been pushing me a lot recently. I'm this close, to moving up and joining my pro sisters, and I want to give them everything I have to show them that I earned my spot and show everybody out there that I earned my spot.
Hey, if you're liking this episode of Behind the Marker here on the Paintball Lounge, please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment this video, and share this video with your loved ones, your friends, your family, and let's grow Louisiana paintball so everybody can play paintball every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, whenever you have the time for. Okay, and let's get back to our great video. Hey, that's a great drive to have because not a lot of people have that drive, like, and because they always feel like, oh, I'm only gonna be at this level, and they're not seeing the potential, like, or the drive to go up a level.
Hmm.
And so for you to have that, that's really awesome. And I hope you do show them your sisterhood that, hey, this is what I can do. This is let me, catch up to y'all, give me the ball, and I can show you what I can do. So tell me this, like, what was the hardest team in the WNXL that you had to face, that you consider them as, when you're about to face this team, you're gonna be like, okay, I gotta put my A game on. I gotta fucking beat them.
Let's see. For me personally, it was
The
the
heroines.
heroines, because they're the
I
best
knew it.
team. My goal was to at least not. I don't want to make a fool of myself. At the very least, I want to give them a run for their money and earn everything that they take. I don't want to just give it to them.
Right, right. I understand. And the heroines, I mean,
They're at the top.
heroines are like that. Well, they're like Dynasty. They are actually not Dynasty. Sorry, they're more like PB Fit. They just, I don't know the strategy, but honestly, it's working.
Hmm.
It's working. But that's a good drive. That's also a good rivalry to have with, like, the heroines and mindset. Like, be like, you know what? These are the heroines. But lace up your cleats, get all the pre jitters out because
Hmm.
you want to go in there and kick some ass.
Hmm.
But no, I mean, the heroines, I hope that this time you give them a little bit more run for their money. Hopefully you beat them. I don't get me wrong, I like the heroines, but I've always been that kind of person who, like, okay, it's the same team winning every single time. We want something different.
And every event we go against any of these upper level teams, we always fight them a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder. And our dream is to win. We want to end up on that finals field, and we want to show people
Right.
who ThunderValley Voltage is and show them how hard we have worked.
I think you're the only team in the South so far. I think you are. I can't remember.
Because, yeah, you got Baltimore.
Yeah, I think y'all are the only ones in Florida. The only ones in the South.
Because I know a lot of the girls who played for the Cheetahs, a lot of them were down here in Florida. But yeah, I think, yeah, we're about as south as you can go.
I mean, that's honestly, hopefully y'all win the event will show people from the South that, hey, we're a female team, but we can win the event and kick some asses. Because this video is brought to you by Grind PB. If you own a JT Pro Flex or want to buy a JT Pro Flex, or you want to buy lens or parts for it, go to Grind PB. They have all the parts that you need to customize your JT Pro Flex, including the brand new blue to clear fade lens. They are very sexy, and JT is your most comfortable mask and the most comfortable customizable, as well as this. You can also get the smoke to yellow granted lens. They still got some. So please, if you want to customize your JT Pro Flex or just to get JT Pro Flex in general, hit up Grind PB. And now let's get back to our video. I don't think really. I think PP Fit was the only ones who did win that was in the South, and then you also got damaged and everything. But I don't think it was like, an actual true Southern people, like an actual someone from the South to win an event. And hopefully I do see that y'all do win. Honestly to God, I do hope
Thank
that
you.
ThunderValley do win. And hopefully that y'all do get on the big network of Go Sports, and maybe one day we'll see women's NXL on ESPN. Now that I'll definitely watch.
That is something I think it's very interesting for a team to say, hey, we're only gonna do women from our state. So we're all Florida girls. Granted, we got some in, like Jacksonville, and we got some in Miami, but at the end of the day, we're all from Florida. We all have that state pride, that it's just one more thing that brings us together as a team.
Right. I agree 100%. And like I said, hopefully that you and your team will shine and be on the podium for first place. And especially your hometown of Tampa. Because that would be like, hey, y'all won an event, at Tampa at Raymond Stadium, home of the Buccaneers. That would be a great thing to put on your resume.
That truly would. And especially because, the Bucks and the Lightning, they're very intertwined into my life because of the area I work in. It would just, to be able to see a banner or, an ad or something with our team on it in my area, and be able to point to like my coworkers or my friends and say, hey, I'm part of that. It's my dream for that feeling one day.
Yeah, especially if, now since we're in the age of technology where, shorts and TikToks and, Instagram reels are like, now went from, oh, there's just a side thing. Now it's a necessity where to get your name out there, to get your promo or your team out there, like you will have that. You can show the people like, hey, hey, I wasn't that real or whatever. It's that short video. That's me. I mean, that's me going into D-side, me diving the snake and, getting that person out, and having those shots. And especially, it's getting to that point where like, that's all that matters, because that could go forever. And ESPN can only show or Go Sports can only show for like a certain amount of time, and then they have to take it off because they need to make room for more stuff.
Yeah, that the cycle of the internet, after about 5 years, it seems like it disappears off the face of the earth.
Exactly. And it's like, that sucks, because it's like 5 years of fame or your recognition is like bye bye,
Yeah, that's
and it's just
personally
messed up.
why I play for my team. I play for the people I love, and
Hmm.
that's why, of course, the comments get to you, but at the end of the day, like, if my chef thinks I'm a badass, that means so much more to me than if Superfan99 thinks.
Me, okay, so you said, and the next NXL is like 30 minutes from your job
Hmm.
or something like. Where do you actually work at?
I work over in the Hyde Park area. I am a line cook at a lovely wine bar, and I work under Chef Jay, who currently has one of his dishes at the Raymond James Stadium.
Oh,
Hmm.
so from a bias line cook to a paintball player. That's that's hey, that would be a nice shirt. That would be a nice shirt to have.
It's it's very, I have my rough and tough, the boys I work with on the line, and you're pushing
Hmm.
out 300 dishes a night, and then you go and play paintball the next day and just get all that frustration out from the night before. It's really great. It takes a lot of energy, and rest is
Hmm.
very important, but I love doing what I do. It makes me happy. I want to show that it can be done.
Right. So you're used to, kind of being that leadership with you being the kind of like support team for your snake player or being a snake and being a line cook with, your teammate, like your coworkers. So
Hmm.
you're used to that leadership kind of role. I respect that because that's hard to do. That's very hard to do, especially in the restaurant business, to be a line cook and then also be a paintball player. So so with everything going on, like, being this paintball player at your job and also your personal life, how do you juggle it all? Like, because I know it's probably a lot of stress.
There is definitely a lot of stress involved. But, with work, I'm very grateful that my boss loves that I play paintball, and he totally supports it. I would say, hey, I need to take, Wednesday through Monday off for this event. He'd be like, okay, cool. Let me work with you, and he'll give me more. He'll help me work around not being able to work for almost a week. So, I'm not flat broke. Paintball's a very expensive sport, but
Oh, I know.
you also just have to take, when you have a light day at work, you have to enjoy it. When you have a
Right.
good light practice, you have to enjoy that. And I also think being able to work nights at my restaurant, it gives me, from whenever I wake up till about 1 to 2, to where I can have some time to myself. I can go to the gym. I can go run my errands. I can spend time with friends. It's all about kind of piecing, having a good schedule, piecing, get things where you can, do things when you can do them, enjoy the moment.
Right. And that's a great mindset. That really is. And I've seen you, like, you have a really great support system with your family and, like you just said, your work and everything. That's also great to have.
Thank you.
Yeah, because not a lot of people have that support system because, we're shooting at each other with, you know, 68 caliber of paint, and people don't understand that, this is something I like to do.
Yeah,
This is like,
it's for fun.
it's not just for fun, it's also like a stress
Mhm.
reliever. Like it's such a stress reliever for both men's and the females. I've seen I'm just being biased here, but I've seen so many females who play paintball, and it's just so much fun, like to watch them play, and they're like, making all these memes and like these comments, like during a video. I can go on and on about it because it's just so entertaining, But it's also like you could see them being like, oh, they're just having fun, and that's all that matters. And I wish that they had more people like that understand that mindset. That hey, we may be shooting at each other, but we're all good. We're
Yeah.
we're all good.
Everybody's friends at the end of the day.
Unless you overshoot us, then
Then we got beef.
Unless you overshoot us, then you got beef. So what changes that you hope that Tom Cole, you think that he will change for the women's division? Because he did a lot for the men's division recently. I haven't watched all of it yet because been juggling with everything else. But what do you hope that they will make the women's NXL a little bit more noticeable?
That's a hard question because, you know, exposure nowadays and popularity, it's such a juggling act. And, you could say, hey, we can just, plaster them all over our NXL pages and really just push them and push them and push them. But some people are like, oh, they're just pushing the women because they're women, or they'll make an excuse. Everybody makes excuses for things. So I think it would probably have to be us as a division and them together coming to a joint and making women's paintball more engaging for TV, whether that's, we have to have more aggressive moves like the men, and however we have to do that, or it's we do more publicity things. We do more fun TikToks or, trends or whatever.
Right.
I'm not super big and like knowledgeable about publicity, but I think just getting our name and getting us out there, because paintball already is a hard sport to promote because it's an aggressive sport.
Very.
But
I got you on the spot now, did I?
yeah, I also think it's just gonna take a little time because the women's
Right.
division is still so new compared to the men's. So,
Right.
we can't just explode overnight. Just we talk a lot about women's basketball and how it's recently exploded, but it maybe we just need like that one thing to happen to get paintball into the eye of everybody. Maybe we just need that one explosion.
And I think it's gonna happen eventually. I mean, once y'all get off of YouTube, and I feel like it probably will happen when you get off of YouTube, because a lot of people, paintball is very, how can I say this? It's very boring to watch after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's because you got to think about it, you're having like, we're shooting like 10 balls a second.
Mhm.
And the only way you can know if someone's out, if you have like a diagram or have
Mhm.
something that shows that, hey, this person's out or this team has these bodies left alive. And but after a certain amount of time, it gets boring, or can get frustrated because there's a YouTube ad, and it's
Mhm.
like, and you're like, oh, not freaking ad, and then you're just like, you just gave up on it because there were so many ads and stuff like that. So I think like if when y'all get off of the whole YouTube platform and be on a Go Sports or something like that platform, to where it shows more exposure, shows more detail of y'all's play style and these big aggressive moves, these wild moves that y'all could probably you know put out there, even if it's not like crazy move. It could be like you got a 5 kill
Mhm.
or a 4-pack kill, something like that. That will definitely change the game for paintball in general, for women's, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Now, so I think I have all the questions for me.
Okay.
I think I just you answer all the questions I got. So now you put me in the hot seat.
Okay. Um, Here's an easy question. You say you've, watched us play paintball. What's something you want from Voltage? Something you want to see from us this year?
Honestly, this year I think you know y'all doing pretty good. Y'all were Tiki. Y'all were doing really good, but you just gotta work on your lanes. Work out, like, just do the basics. And I think that's what a lot of people forget to do. work on the basics because my reference I can do was Dynasty when the fallout with Dynasty and how they did and how they were losing World Cup like crazy because they forgot the basics. They forgot the basics of holding your lanes to extent the fundamentals. And that's what hopefully I can see from, Thunder Valley is just, you know, work on your basic, work on the fundamentals, and never forget about it. You can make these big plays and yeah, you will score a point, but it's always the small little stuff that can bite you in the ass when you least expect it.
Okay.
So
this is a bit of more of a personal question. Who is the first pro or a pro that you interacted with personally that really made you feel seen, if you've had anybody like that?
well, let's see. First pro that I can't say anything like that because I had a lot of pros now coming on the show that have always put me on the scene, but I haven't had that pro who put me on the map.
Okay.
I mean, and I'm waiting for that time to come because I did have Ryan Greenspan on the show. I had Nick Stoviak. I had BB from the Hurricanes. I had Mike Bianca. Had all these pro guys coming on the show. I even had Hailey from the Cheetahs. She was on here. So I haven't had that one pro that put me on the spot yet, but yeah.
Sorry. When looking at like point improved memes or any other meme page that you see across your Instagram, what is the funniest style of meme? Is it the what I got a case of the Mondays, or is it, your dad's being crazy in the background, or what kind of meme just cracks you up every time?
Oof, the memes. Oh, man. There's so many memes, man. I have to say, and this is me old schooling, it has to be any memes that evolves with Lord of the Rings. I am a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. I've actually went to Fan Expo when the Hobbits were there. It was cool. Not gonna lie. It was cool to see Sean still look like Sam. But I feel like any memes that involves with Lord of the Rings, I just laugh because it's just so true. Or it's just like you get it. Like, yeah, I'm like, I get it, but that's just very funny. What about you? What kind of memes that made you like, I will never forget this meme?
It was one posted somewhat recently. I can't remember the caption of it, but it's a lower division. It's like I think it's around like D4 paintball, and it's the dude who takes his marker and just rams his head against his marker. And by no means do I endorse that. But I know for a fact we have all had that time where either you make a mistake or you watch your teammate make a mistake, and that's absolutely all you want to do just to get out that pent-up anger of what the hell and just rock your brain against your marker. And that I died every time I saw that video.
I think another one is actually one that the guy's like, he just face plants himself into a bunker and like I'm talking about like his legs are on the ground and his like face is like face plant in the bunker, like pressed on.
I'm sure that hurt.
I've seen that meme so many times, and I'm like, either this guy loves this bunker so much he just wants to kiss it.
Yeah.
Like, kiss me, old bunker, you're so beautiful.
Okay. Do you have, in your paintball career, is there any regrets that you have for either you did something and you regret it, or you didn't take an opportunity and you regret it?
So I've talked about this so many times. I have no problem talking about it. It was when I got injured. I think it was yeah. So it's gonna almost be about 10 years, maybe. No, actually maybe 5 years or 9. It's been a while. So I fucked up my knee a while back because I dove in the snake. I did it the wrong way, and I fucked up my knee. Literally, when I was in recovery of my knee, the team that I was playing with, they say, "Hey, we're gonna go give it a try with World Cup." I never got a chance to play it because of my knee,
That's
and
really
ever since then,
unfortunate.
I have never got. Yeah, ever since then, I never got a chance to play World Cup, and it's like that little haunting. It's like Ghastly. It's like Ghastly just looking like he's hovering over me with his like he's like, you didn't ever play it, and like, and I just feel like Haunter is just like trying to make me laugh, and then I got Gengar like hugging me, be like, it's okay. Yes, I am a Pokemon fan,
Makes two of us.
and Gengar's my favorite. In fact, I have a Funko Pop that's a Gengar, and I haven't pulled it up there yet, and I need to. In my wall of freaking Funko Pops.
Yeah. But with injuries, you have to, you have to take care of them or else things just become worse. And it's
Yeah,
very
especially when you get
unfortunate.
older.
Yeah. I'm 19 and
Yeah,
my
very
knees scream at me, so I can only imagine how it gets.
30. Try 30. And you're waking up and you're like hearing all the bones cracking. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, but dang, 19 years old. You're still a young little girl.
Yeah.
You're still young. Never thought you were 19.
Thank you.
I thought you were 21.
No, I'm the youngest out of, besides I call them kids, but they're freshmen in high school
Mm-hmm.
now. But out of, our main group of girls, I'm the youngest. And then I believe Cammy is a few years older than I am. But for a while, I was
Probably,
the baby.
probably tell my nephew, Braden, like, hey, Braden, go get her. The funny thing is that you have my nephew on your Facebook, which I thought was like, she's friends with my nephew. Like, that is interesting. Braden Hike.
If it's who I think it is, I believe we became friends on Facebook because he thought I was someone else. And he friend requested me. He's like, "Oh, you're friends with my uncle." And I was like, "Hmm." And he's like, "Do you
Yeah.
remember me? Like, I came to play paintball, like, at this point." And he's like, tried to describe me, and I'm like, "That's not me."
He's a good kid.
Yeah,
He's a good kid. He's just like, how can I say this? Braden's Braden. That's
yeah,
all I gotta say. Braden's Braden.
yeah.
But he's a good kid. I'm not gonna lie, he's a good kid. Any more questions you got for me?
I don't think so. Do you have anything else you would like to ask me or any advice as a
Yeah,
young prospecting paintball player?
sure. Well, my advice I can give to you is that don't lose sight of why you joined the sport, why you play the sport, and why you joined the sport. Like, and I feel like people have lost that so many times because they get caught in the. How can I say this? They got caught in the head about like, oh, I'm playing these tournaments so many times that they lost sight of like, how'd you all start it? You were playing rec ball as a weekend warrior. Don't lose sight of that,
Hmm.
because once you lose sight of that, then it's gonna feel like you know you're playing as a job, but you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
So don't lose sight of what made it so much fun for you.
Well, I appreciate your advice.
Yeah, no problem. So we're going to ahead and answer these lightning questions I got. Very short. So, what is the marker you're currently using or the team is using?
Currently, I am using a Planet Eclipse. I want to say my OG gun, but that's not correct. I currently I'm shooting the Planet Eclipse CS3. I love my gun. Never every time I have an issue with it, a Planet Eclipse tech is always right there just to give me a little tune up, and I'm ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
And that gun will be my tried and true until I snap it in half on the field.
Which is probably going to be never, because I own the CS3 as well.
Yeah, they're sturdy guns, and as someone that is rough with my equipment, just with the same thing with my tools that I use for work, I know I'm rough with my equipment, so I want something I know is reliable and I can I can rough around with it in the mud, and then the next day, just wipe her clean, give her a little once over with a rag, and I'm good to go.
That's like I said, that's how I am with my gun. Like, the original CS3 I have, like not the Pro. I have the original CS3, and that I take that gun to literally the rec ball field, woods ball field, you name it, and never dies.
hmm
What mask are y'all using? Because I know there's a lot of people have been going a lot of JTs.
We use the JT Pro Flexes.
Called it.
Yeah, especially, I know some of our girls, we have really nice custom builds. I like to, match my colors and stuff, so I have probably 4 builds in my room. And, I had to grab my birthstone one. You got to represent. But I love even before I played for Voltage, I had a Pro Flex. They're just, they're good, they're reliable. I can beat it up. I can switch out whatever I need to switch out, and I'm good.
All right. So which sponsors is your team on? Like, is it with JT or is it like what big sponsors you got?
We have a lot. Oh, please don't smite me. I might forget a couple. Um, we have Kelvin Sullivan, attorney. We have MVPS Paintball. We have JT. We have Planet Eclipse. We have GI. We have Third World Army. He's our headband sponsor. EKK Paintball. Love those gentlemen. Absolutely lovely. Every time I see them, they always show so much support for us. That's the planet. Obviously, Thundervalley, home field. It's a given.
What about Ruthless?
We use we no longer work with Ruthless. They were our sponsor for our first year, but now we use
Mm-hmm.
like JT. Like all of our
Okay.
jerseys have been JT. I'm really excited for our new designs for this incoming season. I don't want to say that's it because I feel like they're slipping my mind, but
It'll
those
come to
8 for
you.
sure.
That's okay. At least you got the important ones. It'll come to you.
Yeah. I
It's okay.
If you want to move on to the next question, I'll keep racking my brain back here.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Actually, there's no more. I mean, I got one more, and that's probably it. What? So, what are we gonna see from Thunder Valley in 2026? Like, any new stuff you want to tell you want to say that has never been said before?
Obviously, we're rebranding. We are gonna start building Thunder Valley teams, which I'm very excited for.
Okay.
We're trying to pull more people into the sport and give them a place where they can grow and develop as people and as players, and hopefully, get a really good team out of them and watch them pull titles in the divisions. And, one day we might be building the next Hall of Famer.
Hey, that's a great goal to have, and you know, like I said, a great drive to have. But I think that's it for today. It's been a solid hour.
Okay. Well, I appreciate for the
All right.
invite.
And I appreciate for coming on the show, Miss Hailey. I hope that Thunder Valley, beats the heroines. I would love to see that.
hmm Thank you. I
So,
appreciate it.
hey, no problem. So stay behind for a bit
Mhm.
so it can upload and everything. So, I've been your host, y'all. This has been the Paintball Lounge, and I'll see y'all in the next episode of it. Y'all have a good day.